like a Hellcat.
Before we get started, I have a favor. If you enjoy my content and want to see me continue to improve in both quality and size, please check out my Patreon linked in the description. Any amount helps and it is greatly appreciated. There are so many rewards for each level of donation, so go check it out. Now back to the video. Hey everyone, this is EmeraldAvengerG, and in today's video we're going over some new PTR patch notes. This isn't exactly the next big balance patch. This is sort of just a bit of tuning to Sigma, a bit of quality of life change the Bastion, and just compensation for the new beam tracking changes, compensation being made to Symmetra and Zarya. So let's get into it, and starting with Bastion. The new mechanic, or new quality of life thing is his self-repair no longer drains the, I guess, fuel of it while he's at full health. It will just, but it also won't regenerate while he's doing it. So that's a bit of a drawback to it, but it still does just prevent him from wasting its charge whenever he reaches full health. Like if he starts regenerating himself, then hits full, so he doesn't use any more than he has to, stopping everything. It'll also properly initiate the proper cooldown before you can use it again, after you leave it down. 0.25 cooldown, so yeah. So it will now properly start the 0.25 second cooldown whenever you attack. It doesn't look like a lot, but it's there. So yeah. Next we get to Symmetra. Symmetra is the next big change. I really need to move where my phone is so I can actually play the game without having my arm arched up like that. That's really uncomfortable.
The true enemy of humanity.
Next changes to Symmetra. The beam, the like full width of it is lowered from 3 to 1, from 0.3 to 0.15, making it smaller, making it about the size of Zarya's middle, or between Zarya's beam sizes, like between the larger and the smaller one, and also the DPS on all DPS levels are lowered from 65, 130, and 195 to 60, 120, and 180. So of course it's just a small change on the lower levels. When you get to the higher levels, it's a whole 15 DPS drop. It's a quite extreme change, but of course it's just to make her not so oppressive, since she did just have that fix changing how her beam interacts whenever it ticks on and off people due to tracking. So it's just meant to keep her relatively balanced, which I don't have a problem with it. I think it's pretty good. Yeah. So now to Zarya. Very, very similar change. And it's that her width of her beam no longer scales with energy. So instead of going from 0.1 to 0.2, it now consistently stays at 0.15. So it's slightly bigger than the low energy, but slightly smaller than the high energy. And also the max beam DPS has been lowered from 190 to 170. So at full energy, I will not do anywhere near. I'll do 20 damage less than I used to. Still, of course, it's actually just slightly less than Symmetra's max, but of course, Symmetra has to risk running out of ammo, while I just gotta stay alive in order to keep that like that. So that's how that works. That's about all the changes to her. But Sigma has the bigger amount of changes. His Hypersphere splash damage has been reduced from 35 to 30, so it's not as oppressive if you're not hitting your targets and just bouncing it. The Experimental Barrier now has a toggle function, so let me go in here and find Sigma real quick so I can show you this. It has a Reload Recalls Barrier, I'm going to have that on, and Toggle Barrier. Basically, you click to send it out, click to stop it, then click to pull it back, rather than having to hold it down. Actually, I'm going to turn it on and see how that feels.
Activating the barrier.
Okay, see, and then of course I can reload it and get it back. So with this, I can send it out I can still hold it down if I want to, but I do have to press it again, or press R. So if I send it out, pressing R makes it stop, and then pressing R also returns it. See, I'm not 100% sure how I feel about this. I'll just have to play around with it. I'm going to keep it like this so far and do some little testing on the PTR with it, because I'm not actually 100% sure what I think about it. But next is a change to the accretion damage, and it changes it from 50 to 60. The explosion damage, not the impact damage, but the explosion damage itself. So like if it splashes on people that it doesn't directly hit, it deals, used to deal 50, but now deals 60. Decent little buff. It's mainly to make up for the hypersphere change. I'm like 99% sure that's why it exists, is to make up for the hypersphere change. Just to give it back that, give it back the exactly 10 DPS that was lost. But next is the change to his gravitic flux, and the intro cast time, which is like whenever he places it, has been increased from 0.4 to 0.6. So yeah, it takes just a little bit longer, only 0.2 seconds, but still just a fifth of a second, but still just a little bit longer. Just give people a little more time, like me, who can't see apparently, or has an inability to see stuff happening quickly, can never escape. It gives incompetent people like me a little bit more time to get out of the area of it, but outside of that, there's not really any change. The rest of the changes are to the workshop. You can now put in bots that have no AI attached to them, that just walk around, not player controlled, but you can allow them to take commands from the player or just from map commands. So no AI, just stationary, kind of like these guys right here, which I'm glad they finally made that. Even though I cannot use the workshop, it's a good idea. But that's all for this video, so thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe for more content. I'll see you guys in the next one. This is Matt, the Emerald Avenger. That was the wrong button. Peace out.